think that is what it is. And would me and you.
Arsenal is one of the best clubs in the world now.
No, Chelsea is the best club, sir.
How?
I beg to differ.
They have no stadium. A person who has so much money to buy the best of cars, wear the best of clothes, and lives in a rented house. That's how Chelsea are. I know.
No, we beg to differ.
We really beg to differ.
They have no stadium.
All right, let's get to our conversation this morning. Looking at, it's been a long week of commissioning of project. But first, let us appreciate the CP and his team first for one of the good works they have done yesterday and day before in the Federal Capital Territory by breaking into some of those camps and making sure that some of those guys involved in kidnapping around that Zuba axis were also brought to book, catching them and making sure that they face the law, as it were. And also, a big shout out to the Nigerian army for stopping that what would have been a very mad and painful incident of kidnap in Delta State, one of those roads. I think they already cornered the boss when the Nigerian army suddenly arrived the scene and make sure that none of those people in that bus were taken away. So, to the Nigerian Police Force, FCT Command, to the Nigerian Army, take your sheke. Feel the sheke. Receive the sheke. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Yes, sir,
our job is to continue to encourage you and tell you when you need to do more and how to do more for the people of the FCT. And of course, it also goes to show that they went into action. Last week we talked about that rumor that was moving around the FCT, that some boys were coming in to do some bad work around Zuba, around Mpape, but they gave us the assurance that they've put all things together, both physically and the one that we don't know.
We don't know.
And we're glad that we're seeing productive measures come out from those things. Let's go and talk about what is next for FCT. But before we go on that, let's also hear the Honorable Minister of FCT how we appreciate Mr. President, and most importantly, also told Mr. President that Mr. President has not in any way interfered with their work, which is making them working absolutely well. When I mean interfere in the sense that he has not told them don't encroach here because my friend has something there, but he has given them the necessary support to do their job. The Honorable Minister also went on to suggest what I think is very important. It's to say some of our novel writers be named after some of those rules, like Wole Soyinka that is suggested to Mr. President, and that was adopted. As I yesterday, also day before yesterday, Saturday, also suggested JP Clark and others, making sure that that their name does not just go like that after their immense contribution in story writing. Let's take a listen to the Honorable Minister as he hails Mr. President, who was smiling from one end of his teeth to the other. But one of the important things you also hear in this broadcast is that it looks like the Wike band all the way from Port Harcourt have landed in Abuja. Because the name that Mr. President gave Wike, WIW, they have sang a song with it. Let's take a listen to the new record for the Honorable Minister of FCT.
I just
ladies and don't copyright this song.
Only
the minister has the right to this song. If he gives us permission, we'll play. But take a listen. We'll be right back.
WIW, Wike is walking on. WIW, Wike is walking on.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief, the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my colleagues, the ministers who are here present, the Chief of Staff to the President, Minister of FCT, State Chairman, House Committee on FCT, Chairman, Senate Committee on Area Councils and Ancillary Matters, Chairman, House Committee on Area Councils and Ancillary Matters, the Deputy Chairman, House Committee and FCT, and representatives of the Abuja Fair constituency, the civil senators that are here, gentlemen, army secretaries, mandate secretaries, head of service of FCT, our traditional rulers, managing director of Gilmore, the zonal chairman of APC, South South, and the national publicity secretary of APC, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry to cut that short. At 10:25, we'll go for our commercial break. So just in case you listen to a point and you can't hear the voice of the Honorable Minister, we have gone for commercial break. And when we come back, we'll also continue to play that voice. But have you learned that song? W-I-W, Wike is walking. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, let me, on behalf of the Federal Capital Secretary, once again, thank you, appreciate you for giving us 9 consecutive days, knowing fully well how busy your office is. That again shows the love you have for the people of FCT, for the residents of FCT, and for giving them hope, which they have already lost before now. Excellency, I want to thank you so much. Your Excellency, today is your own last day, but it's not our last day for commissioning projects. We'll continue on Tuesday to commission projects in area councils, but want you to just do this for us for the 9 days, and which you have done successfully well to the glory of God. Excellency, when we came on board on the 21st of August 2023, yes, I lived in Usanforgod before, up to now, but I've never taken the opportunity to go around the district and know how big it is. I can tell you that this is one of the biggest districts and far developing. This job was awarded in 2003. 2003, under the administration of our father, Olusegun Obasanjo then. And just like the ES said, it was divided into 2 lots. Lot 1 has to be given to Dantata and Sao. Lot 2 has to be given.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
So, Your Excellency, in 2003, when it was awarded at a cost of 14 billion. But just 2 weeks before you assumed office, in May 2023, it was reversed to 18.17 billion. And because of your passion, because of your doggedness to make sure that projects must not be abandoned, government is a continuum. You have to make sure that these projects are completed and with a financial arrangement. That's what we have succeeded because you gave us that one. I have told people who care to hear, since I assumed office in August 21st, 2023, you have never one day interfered in our work. Never one day have they called me that this is what you want, this is not what you have. Never one day. And sometimes I pretend I will come to you as are there people complaining. You will tell me, have I ever called you one day? So somebody has said, go and do your job. I must say, I sincerely am a Minister of State, was sincerely happy that he gave us the free hand to work, and it is that we are seeing today. And another area they are doing, which is called the diplomatic area. I know every Nigerian would like to live there. It's one of the best places anybody would want to live. We are hoping by the grace of God that by next year we'll do everything we can to make sure that that diplomatic area is completed. Like Gilmore said, well, once the money is there, everything can be done overnight. And I can assure you that diplomatic area is where most people would like to go and live. I'm not saying that this is now open application for people to come and apply that they want to go. You know, when Nigerians see small opportunity, they want to capitalize on it. And this is all I'm saying, that is a good place where people would like to live. Excellency, we don't know how to thank you. Thank you is ordinary. We got not to pray for you, that God got not to guide you, and to make sure that our Need Hope agenda comes to fruition, which it has come in Abuja. Everybody can see it. It's no longer theory, it's a reality. So that, and I want to appeal to you, just like what you did last time. There are a lot of Nigerians who also have, in one way or the other, have made their own contribution, particularly in writing, literary works. Some of them have made Nigeria proud. People like Chinachude, people like J.P. Clark. People like J.P. Clark and Chinachude. Excellency, I want to appeal to you. First of all, let this road be named against Chinachude, and then another road within the same district that can be named against J.P. Clark. This is my appeal to you, because they are one of the people who also have contributed just as like our noble laureate did. On this note, I want to beg you to speak to our people, the residents of Abuja. I know they're watching you, they're happy every day, and they're commissioned this road.
And now, what's happening, Abuja? With Effizy.
Let's talk.
All right, you're welcome back. And of course, you can hear the Honorable Minister also appeal to Mr. President. And numbers of issues were also raised from that point. In the angle of recognition, he raised that issue for recognition's sake, and also commend Mr. President, also looking at the contractor, eyeball to eyeball, where Mr. President was seated, telling them, are we owing you?
They said no.
He said okay. So that Mr. President will know that all approvals been given and all funds being approved are going to the right quarters.
Yeah.
a lot of things has happened. First off is the Abuja Light Rail that was commissioned by Mr. President. In fact, the Honorable Minister started by letting us know that, because a lot of people were arguing that, are you commissioning the light rail twice? He said no. What was commissioned before was the building, but they are commissioning the finished work of the light rail and movement of the rail to the airport. Mr. President, in his magnanimity, also give a thumbs up to minister, and not just only to the minister, to every Nigerian living in the Federal Capital Territory, that you can ride on that train for complete 6 months. That was approved because the federal government has paid for you. That made me remember one of those restaurants in the United States where they say that your father has paid for you, come in and eat for free. But when you are going, they will ask you to pay for your own children who will come there to eat in years to come. So I'm just hoping that this free ride is not that we are going to now pay for our children that are coming. But Mr. President has done a 9 days of commissioning, and the Honorable Minister also let the President know that for Mr. President, this is your own 9 days of commissioning. But for we as FCT, we are continuing to do commissioning because we'll be moving to area councils. And there is no better time to give the Honorable Minister a big thumbs up. It's just that I don't know if the Honorable Minister's band also knew that they need to sing for the president too. But I don't know if the president would like a song. But if the minister have chosen to have a song, so be it. But our question to you this morning, it is, what is next for FCT? Looking at all this commissioning, yes, some people disagree at some point that they are scraping good roads to put quota on it. Another question to look at is that, what's the lifespan of those roads? Were they contract of maintenance signed, as it were, today? That if anything happened, if those roads develop one pothole, will they go back there to fix it? What is the models of the usage of those roads? But that's also on one side, because we'll get citizens' report from that, because you are using the road, myself, I'm using the road, Maz is using the road, Honorable Doctor is using the road. So when any need arise, of course we'll come back here to talk about it. But I think the next conversation here, it is what comes next for FCT. Where should we be directing the capacity of the FCT minister to in the FCT? Should we be looking at health sector in the FCT? The primary health care center? I don't know if any of us have been to any of them. Have you visited any of the government hospitals in Abuja in recent time and see what is going on there? Whether, when we talk about health care in Abuja or in Nigeria, the first thing we talk is about, they don't give service well. I think one of the biggest problems is brain drain.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the hospital recently, and not exaggerating, one doctor was about to see about 50 persons. And I'm just wondering, how long can he continue with that? So, where should the FCT minister be directing his energy? Let me start with Mazi this morning, then move to Honorable Dr. Usanforgod.
Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Sahel.
Good morning,
and thank you for having us today again. And we're also thankful to the management of Nigeria Info. Sahel, I would like to start by thanking the FCT minister, for what he's done within less than a year. He's not been there up to 1 year, but the projects that he has commissioned, I'm not one of those complaining whether you're scraping old roads and you're not putting new distance. At least we are seeing activity. I will keep pointing to, somebody who was there for almost 8 years and we didn't see anything. So it's even better for me that I'm seeing something. At least coming to town this morning, I used the new road that he suggested should be named after Wole Soyinka.
Yes.
And that is actually where I follow to work now. I just love the new
feel of the
I
new
love the feel of the new road. But at the same time, before I go to what you said, our safety first. The PRO Oga Kanu that we had here last week, said that what is responsible for most of the accidents in FCT is good road. Sahel, I want to agree with him. That day I didn't want to swallow that, but today I agree, because coming, to town through that road, one guy with BM, the way he overtook me, he almost pushed me
off the road.
You understand what I'm saying? Off the road. So I don't know, the roads that FCT minister is building shouldn't be a cause It should be a blessing to us.
Okay.
Let's be wise as we are using those roads, because if you are moving from Apo, that roundabout to after the cemetery,
yes,
heading to Kubwa, you won't even know when you've left the Asukuru area, and connect to other parts, going to Kubwa as well. Good roads everywhere, but at the same time, please, it's not a license for you now to be doing 300 miles per hour. You're not Lewis Hamilton or so. What's his name called?
Yes.
So please,
you are not doing Formula 1.
We are not doing Formula 1 here, please. So for me, I'm starting with gratitude that something is going on. You understand? And we ask him to do more. But now you said, what's next for FCT?
Yes.
I also love the fact that the president has given 9 days to commission some projects. And then the FCT minister said, now we are now moving to area councils to continue commissioning projects. That means there are activities also going in different area councils. But like I said 2 weeks ago, so if I'm always using Bagwalada as an example because of that market road that my brother Abubakar and Auntie Mary, have mentioned a couple of times, assuming that people in Bagwalada, that market road is not what the FCT minister is constructing, he should not be blamed. I believe he must have spoken to somebody who, suggested a road or two. So some people, out of selfishness, because you have a plot of land in one road that is not even serving half of the population of Bagwalada, you now decide to advise the FCT minister to award that job. Well, you are not going to blame him. But I also think that the FCT minister should, if he can't listen to radio, even this our program, he should delegate somebody to also listen to radio, listen to, go to social media and get information on what people want in FCT so that he can channel the resources, which I believe is scarce as well, to the right places. So I know that in the next 1 year, we will see a lot of activities in area councils, in other places in FCT. He has achieved a lot in the town. We are not saying he should abandon town now and focus on my own is carry every part of FCT along. So I expect more activity in especially the LEA schools, those primary, secondary schools. Those of them that need renovation. Some primary healthcare, I'm seeing a new stuff in there. The BRG primary healthcare, I've gone to their eye clinic once. I've seen a new structure. They have seen renovation in that area. So I don't know whether he's the one doing it or the area council. Do you understand me? They are really working on that place, even though it serves a small community as well. I believe the same thing is happening in other, parts of Abuja. So I expect him, that healthcare, the health sector, the education sector, the transport sector as well. That one is very important also. We need to see a lot of, they've promised of these buses.
Yes.
It's really very expensive for people to pay to, from, let's say, other places to come to town, maybe Kubo and so on. Transport is high. So what can he do, to bring some buses that will, at least charge cheaper rates for people to get to where they are earning the destiny? Because the reason why I'm saying that is they are still, dragging about the minimum wage thing. Nobody knows where they are going to do increase or not. But whether there is an increase in the salary, the minimum wage or not, but people should get some, succor, because this fuel subsidy thing has really affected us. Food prices, the cost of getting food now is up in the roof there. So I expect him to do a lot in transport sector, because if you control that, it will help, affect, different other sectors as well.
Okay.
So for now, I think that's the much I can, say. But
All right.
I believe he will do more. Thank you.
Okay. And let's move to Honorable Dr. Usanforgod before we let you in the conversation this morning. Honorable Doctor.
The billionaire, we can never stop thanking you and the Nigerian Info Management for this privilege.
Thank you, sir.
And having said that, I want to greet all the residents, especially the fans and listeners to Nigerian Info. Just yesterday, I drove past the road towards next Cash and Carry. The road before next Cash and Carry that links you to Katampe and Winners Chapel.
Yes.
I couldn't help but almost shed tears of joy, because I know how that route used to be. If you drove there twice in a month, you needed to check your alignment and your shock observer. The ambience, 4-lane road, the ambience. In fact, those buildings and structures that were there and they were looking almost abandoned has, come up. And the ambience and the totality of that environment is lit up to the extent that no matter how you may not like the minister, you must just appreciate. I totally understand the fact that the hunger in the land, the removal of fuel subsidy, and the challenges of insecurity and everything we're going through is enough to make such effort and gesture by the minister infinitesimal, to the extent that you just want to think that, nothing has been done. Because going to the generality of what we're going through, what he's doing is just like a candle in the dark. But also, it will be unrighteous for us not to appreciate what is done, what is good enough. Because what about if he didn't do that? We'll say he didn't do that. Now, Mazi talked about, I don't want to repeat too many things that he has said. He talked about the scraping of roads for fixing. I recall that there was a time also that we complained that when the roads are getting worn out, they don't fix them until they become very huge projects. We also said that when you start experiencing or seeing what they call it now, breakage on the road, it's better to fix it in time. A stitch in time saves 9. But no, they will leave it until when it's deep, and then it will cost more. So while I also agree that yes, priority should come in terms of the project, I also do not think it is wrong to actually maintain the ones that are old. After all, those roads that are being scraped, as a matter of fact, were actually due for maintenance. Yes, they were due for maintenance. Now, if you ask me what next for FCT, the billionaire,
yes, sir,
permit me to take our minds back to the regime of the former president, General Muhammadu Buhari, who came up with a housing scheme for all the 36 states of Nigeria except Lagos that did not have land to donate. The vision of that housing scheme was to cater for low income earners, and those living moderately. It was meant to be sold very, very cheap and affordable. And Nigerians were made to fill forms, and then you have either the option of outright buying or owner occupy, that is rents and occupy, you pay your rent as you live, and then instrumental payment. Now, the one for FCT is located in Gwagwalada, Kasana, and Kubwa. And I want to also thank the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I learned from good authority that he has decided that in this regime, they will add to that and then commission everything all together. Now, having said that, it means that what next, you ask, will be for the FCT minister to come up with projects that will touch on the downtrodden, that will impact the downtrodden more positively. Now, the train they talked about is very, very good, but like someone opined the last time we talked about it, the train takes people into the airport, only few people travel. So even if you have an option of boarding the train, you are boarding to the airport, is it to go and see the airport and come back? That is not in any way to take away anything from that. It's a good one. Let the minister come up with projects like housing that will, be able to cater for low earners. Now, let me tell you one sad story, allegedly, about this housing scheme I just mentioned. I learned that in some states where the project was completed, there are tendencies for a few individuals to go buy all of them at once. I am using this opportunity to appeal to such Nigerians, whether it's Sokoto, whether it is in Kano, that if you have that tendency to buy what is meant for the masses, and may probably resell, because they're not going to buy it to occupy, it's just for them to resell and make business. Please, repent from that. I also want to use the opportunity to also appeal to the FCT minister with regards to this housing issue, that I know under your watch, you will not allow an individual to buy that of Abuja and therefore deny the masses. In fact, the story goes this way, that it was meant to be as low as 4 million. apart from cartels who have probably started making it more expensive, there is the danger that few people may just buy all and then resell to us. I just to that I say, God forbid.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Doctor. Just looking at our Facebook Live, you can also join us there and drop in your comments there at Nigeria Info Abuja. Same applies for YouTube. Also, Francis Namani, all the way from Enugu State, is watching live. He says, good morning, Effizy and my guest in the studio. What's more important in Abuja and every other part of the country is sustainability of security of lives and property, and may God help us. Matthew Esang, all the way from Ayagba in Kogi State, say, I see you. We see you too, my brother. We are constantly seeing you. On YouTube, we're yet to see your comment on YouTube. Let's go to WhatsApp and take few comments before we start taking calls, because we're due for commercials at 10:55. So let's go to WhatsApp and take some calls. All right. And good morning, Sir L. Thursday last week was my immediate sister's birthday. Thank you. This is not the time for birthday. This is time for you to tell me what next in Abuja for you. Okay. Good morning, the billionaire. Please, sir, we don't have bus stop in FCT. I want the FCT minister to look into it. Also, I want the minister to look into the environmental factor too. Lastly, I want the minister to look into the street light in FCT. I really appreciate the minister. There's road construction going on in my area. Karen, all the way from Day. Okay, we're happy to hear this.
Yes.
Karen, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing this. We're very happy to hear this.
Thank you, Karen.
Because we've been talking about that Karimo road and that axis. Okay, we like this. Good morning, Effizy and the elders in the house. Wike has really done well and should please move to rural areas, area councils for development like this. It's enough for the city center. Bravo to Wike. Aka Fred from Suleja says, God bless Nigeria and God bless Nigeria Info. Amen to your prayer. And who do we have here? Okay, this is also a birthday shout out. We'll start taking your calls after the break, after the commercial break. And there is something I also want us to do. Maybe I'll just tell you after the commercial break. I want us to, if you find yourself in an area in Abuja, even in the municipal, where there is no street light, or there is street light and is not on, take a picture and send, so that we can also collate it, so that the FCT minister can see it, to know. He can't be everywhere at the same time.
If you see something, say something.
Exactly. And the police will do something.
And the FCT
minister, will do something. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Nigeria Info.